All right, here we go for part two. Welcome everyone to part two of Good Marketing Vibes. I am Sherry Ruskis and I am delighted to be here with you as I always am. And I've got a lot to share with you today about finding your sweet spot, the who of your customers. So first of all, I would love to talk about a couple of things, just a little housekeeping really quick. I put up in the chat that a couple of things. If you want to ask questions, and I'm really doing the very beginning of this, if you have questions about the very first section, please let me know and just put a question down below, not over in the chat. I never know if I'm pointing the right way. I think it's reversed when you guys see it, but not in the chat, but down below where it says ask a question. If you have questions about the first part of the why of Good Marketing Vibes, I was just going to do a few minutes of Q&A for anybody who had that. So if you have that, let me know. And then also, I have been finding that not only in Crowdcast, which is the platform that I'm using for this webinar, but for a lot of things online lately, Chrome seems to be working a lot better than Firefox or Safari. So if later on, I'm going to ask if anybody wants to volunteer to, there's one part I want to do towards the end of the webinar today to really dig deeper into what you might be experiencing as your sweet spot when we get into talking about pain points for your customers. And when we talk about your customers, it's past, present, and future. And so if you want to do that, you absolutely have to be in Chrome, the browser of Chrome, because I can't pull you in for the Q&A and what we can talk about what you're dealing with, okay? So there is that little bit of homework, and welcome as people start joining us. So today we're going to talk about the who. And this is really the people that you love to serve, right? The people that want and need your product and service the most. When I do workshops, live events, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, I just want to do business with everybody, right? Everybody's my perfect customer. And the reason that doesn't always work out so well is because we only have so much time and money, right, to really focus our marketing efforts. It's like everything we do in our businesses. We should be pretty focused at what we're doing. And by being able to focus on the people that you want to serve, that your product or service really fits the best, and I know there's a variety of different people that are attending, but especially if you're a solopreneur and you know who you like working with the best, you really want to focus in on that target audience. And then finally, it's the social consciousness of it all. So I thought I'd share with you guys, I just brought in last night my junk mail, as I like to call it, right? This is my mailbox for one day. And I've tried getting it reduced. It works for a while, then it doesn't. But it's the social conscious piece of just throwing it and seeing, it's the old adage, if you throw the spaghetti on the wall, it might stick. And so I really, it's looking at that for all your marketing. Are you just throwing it up against the wall and hoping it sticks? Or are you being very focused with it? And so there's that conscious piece of just, and all of this will go into recycle, and I don't need any of it. I don't want any of it. And they really don't care, right? They just are trying to find the one, that needle in the haystack. But things like this, I just have to share this with you, irritate me the most. And I hope you guys can see this. I'll move it closer to the camera. But this is something that I got. I don't even know what they're selling. It's some kind of sweepstakes, right, to get you involved. And this piece right here, while it might look like it's just black, it's actually a piece of plastic. And what they want you to do is to pull this out to get your sweepstakes number in here. And then, maybe you win, maybe you don't. Here's my deal with it, and this is why I'm sharing it with you. I don't care. I don't even want to win. I could win a 2018 Ford F-150 pickup truck. I don't want one. I don't need it. I'm not their target audience. But this piece of plastic is going to now sit in the landfill for years and years to come. So there's the social conscious piece of that I just want you to keep in mind as well. All right. So again, for those of you just coming in, if anybody has any questions about part one, I could take a couple of questions right now. I don't see any coming in and asking it in the ask question box below, but I don't see any, so I am going to move on. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to do, like we did last week, I'm going to go ahead and show you the presentation and take you through the elements. It's really part of your marketing plan, right, of this target audience. So that's what we're going to be doing. And what you can do if you want, I'm going to actually show you right here in the middle of your screen, right below me here, I think it's right there, is click here for your homework. And this is really the worksheet that we're working with today. And if you click that button, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Share. You will, okay. You will come up with this. So this is where you come to, and you can just download Finding Your Sweet Spot as a PDF to follow along with me, and then that will take you. Just, you can follow along. And then again, if anybody wants to volunteer, I'm going to do a part towards the end about pain points. And I would love to use a real world example if anybody wants to do it. Again, you have to be on a Chrome browser, and just go ahead and say in the Q&A, I'd like to do the pain points with you, or whatever, however you want to say that. All right, so let me go ahead and move this down, and I'm going to get my presentation up here. Just give me a second. And a slideshow, play from start. Okay. All right, so good marketing vibes. The Who, and a reminder that this series, which this is the second, the third part will be next week, and on the where, and we're really going to dig into the platforms for social media, email marketing, and your website as well. But Constant Contact, the email marketing people, have been gracious enough to co-sponsor this with us, and I know some of you are here today because of them, and so welcome, and thanks to Constant Contact for all they do. I have actually been a customer and a partner with Constant Contact for like 14 years now, and it's been a great part of my business and my victory letter that I shared with you last week that I've been sending out every Monday morning for the last 17 years. So thanks to Constant Contact for that. All right, so here is, and for those of you who don't know me, I know that some people are coming on for the first time right now. My name is Sherry Ruskis. I am the founder of Victory Circles. I've been a business coach for the last 20 years, entrepreneur the last 35 years. You can find the things I love in life, in business and in the outside world. I love being outdoors, and especially in my garden this time of year, even though we're having a ton of hail here. We had a bunch yesterday, and just craziness. It looks like it's about to unload outside, so you may be hearing some going on outside anytime now. But you can find me over on Instagram at Victory Girl, and would love to connect with you there. So please, we're going to be talking more about Instagram next week, but know that I would love to connect with you over there. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about building your story, right? So we started that last week with the why. What's your why? Why are you doing what you do? And then we're going to talk about the perfect client profile. We're going to talk about the importance of the competitive analysis, and then finally pain points, and why pain points are so important. Not only to really zero in on your customers' needs, it helps you build great content, etc. So that is what we're going to be doing. And all right, so building your story. I love this quote from Seth Godin, who said that if your target audience isn't listening, it's not their fault, it's yours. So what are you doing to have your target audience really hear you and not be just throwing stuff out there to see what sticks? And building your story is really looking at the components. And for those of you who are just joining us and didn't have not heard last week's presentation on the why, it will be on that page where the homework page is, and you can listen to it after the fact. I highly recommend that you get all three components of this good marketing vibes, because it makes all the difference in the world to get all of it, to understand it. Because building your story really starts with the tools that we talked about last week, and really understanding what it is about your story that attracts people. I encourage you to think about the people that you do business with right now and how their story played a part in the fact that you are doing business with them. Yes, there's some people that we do business with, perhaps like Comcast or larger corporations, because it's really, you have little choice in some matters. But in areas that you have a lot of choice, it's really the people who have the best story that, as we talked about last week also, really come from the heart that really make all the difference. All right. So I hope that you're still working on that. If you, again, missed it, please go back and review it. And if you were here and just need a refresher, this series is going to be up for you to come back to as you need to. So I highly recommend. We're not going to put any date of taking it down. It's just here for you. And that's really my gift to you, is to have this information for you to really do this marketing that you need to get done. So remember, build your story. And if any of you, I'll just add this too, if you don't know of Seth Godin's work, I would highly recommend just Google Seth Godin. He will pop up. He actually does a blog. He's been doing a blog every day for years. He's taken many of those blogs and he's made books out of them. He has about 21 books marketing books that are out there. He's a brilliant marketeer, and I highly recommend Seth's work. I just love the work that he does. All right, so let's talk about the perfect client profile. As I said, to start us off, it's those people that you serve. And who is it that you want to work with? For those of you that are brand new to business, maybe you don't know yet. Maybe you're trying to get that figured out. You kind of had an idea. And what's interesting is sometimes we come into business thinking, oh, this is going to be my target audience. And then, by osmosis, other people come into our life and we find that it can shift. So that's absolutely, there's no hard line about it, but it's getting real clarity about it. So, and the place to start off is who do you want to work with, right? Who needs your product and service, and who do you enjoy working with? And then what are their needs and wants when it comes to your product or services? So why do they need you? And why does that particular target audience? And for those of you who are really ready to even drill down even more, that particular niche within that target audience, right? So it might be, let's say it's moms. You want to work with moms, but maybe you want to work with working moms versus stay-at-home moms, or moms that have teenagers, or moms that children, are empty nesters. There's all kinds of ways to break down a mom, many ways to break down a mom, that's for sure. But so who is it? To just blanket say, you maybe want to work with brand new moms who just have babies under 2 years old. I know I have a client who works with, because she has twins, she works with twin moms. And one of the things it's nice to do in this too, it's because part of your expertise comes from the fact that you understand it, right? If that in fact is how your business works. Some people own businesses that have nothing to do with their expertise. It just kind of happened that way. But if you do, I highly recommend that you really look at their needs and their wants, and how you can break that down even more, because you become more of an expert and you can really have a particular skill set in that area. All right. And just a reminder as we go, I'm not going to answer any questions in the chat. I can't even see the chat when the screen is up the way it is, but be sure to do the Q&A at the bottom of the screen if you want to. I'll do questions towards the end. All right. So look at that perfect client profile. And I really would, again, I always say this is homework to do because I'm talking about it very quickly here, but it's something that you need to think about. And again, depending on where you are in your business, if you've been in business for a while and you want to, maybe shift, maybe you're bored with your current target audience and you want to go to another target audience, or you've been trying a certain target audience and it's just not working. Sometimes it can be magic like a switch when you move to another target audience and all of a sudden you find that you really are in your sweet spot and where you want to be. All right, so really think about that perfect client. Now, of course, if we go back to Marketing 101, we've got demographics, right? So we've got male, female, we've got age, we've got income level, education level. So some of that may play into this. And one of the things that I'm going to ask you to do as we move forward is to look at your current clients and to say, where are they? Are they primarily female? Are they male? I mean, in my case, most of my clients are female. Now, does that mean I don't have any male clients? No, I have several, and a number of them. It's funny how things shift, because lately I've been getting a lot more male clients, and I'm not sure what that's all about, but it's happening. And again, in all of this, it doesn't mean that you can't do business with another group. It just means that your marketing efforts are focused to a particular group. And even in some cases, going from marketing into sales, and when you really look at what conversions happen from marketing and sales, maybe there's one group that really does work better than another for you. Again, age is definitely a factor, income level. For those of you who have perhaps a more expensive product or service, if someone's, barely over poverty level, they're probably not going to be able to, they're not a good target audience, and you have to work with that. And then again, education level. You may find that, your particular client base they have PhDs, it could be they just have a master's degree. It could mean that they graduated from high school. It doesn't, it's just understanding where they're at. They don't have to have a particular level that they're at. All right, and then from that we go to geographic. So the local, right? So is most of your business here local? If most of your business is local, one of the things without a doubt, I'll just share with you, it just popped in my head about being sure that you are on Yelp, Google, that you're getting a lot of, you can do it for regional, national, and international as well, but local traffic is really driven by, if that's your geographic territory, there are so many extra tools for you than perhaps regionally or nationally. So really understanding that, and understanding maybe there's a growth pattern in your business. So let's say, actually I was just working with a client yesterday, and she doesn't want to travel right now that much because she has a teenage daughter. She doesn't want to be gone that long. But we were talking about, okay, so why don't you gear your business towards becoming national, so that, in 4 years when she graduates, that you can become a national business, because in her particular sector, there's a lot more business to be had, and that might be a way for her to go. So there could be a gradual plan. Maybe you want to warm up locally or regionally. I'm primarily, at this point in time right now, I'm regionally, and I do also want to start doing more national and international. Again, I did a number of years back, but the last 6 years, because I've been doing so many workshops here in Colorado and Utah, I've kind of gotten regional, but you can shift and look at it and plan accordingly. So really look at your geographic piece of it and what that means for you. Lifestyle. All right, so what is the lifestyle of your perfect client or customer, however you prefer to talk about them? But are they retired, right? Are you working just with retired people? Are they entrepreneur and business owners? Are they corporate executives? I find this a lot in working with other coaches, is that they kind of want to do it for everyone. And really, coaching is definitely one of those areas that I think it's really important that you get super specific about it, because otherwise you're trying to create programs for people who have all different kinds of needs, right? So, which is another reason why you really want to get specific. So is it, corporate mid-level management? Is it corporate entry level? College students? Maybe it's mom and dads, like I was saying before, stay at home versus working. What really is the lifestyle of the people that you want to work with the most? And then there's the hobbies, right? What are they doing during their free time? Their greatest joy, their greatest sorrow. You fill in the blank of what it is that you find, that common thread that's moving through the clients that you are working with, that you enjoy working with the most. And this hobbies piece is gonna help you tremendously, especially when it comes to social media. Social media is not cut and dry by any stretch of the imagination. And it's also, you start to find I love working with creatives. I mean, I just do. And that's why I have gone over to Instagram, and I love being on Instagram and connecting with the people there, because they're creatives too, and other gardeners that I've met throughout the world, actually, and just seeing, like right now in Australia, it's wintertime, so it's just interesting to see things that are going on around the world and understanding that. And because I'm such an avid gardener, it's something I talk about. It's, I use it as a parallel in so many things that I share, and analogies, etc., because that's something that I love. So if I have clients who are interested in gardening too, it only just enhances our relationship. And that's what this is all about, right? Is enhancing relationships, having relationships that you enjoy and they enjoy having with you. So really understanding what they do when they're not working and who they are as people, right? Because we are all people at the end of the day. So again, talking about niches, breaking that down into niches, whether it's business to business, a particular field or industry, a specific service they use more than not, right? So, I've seen it so many times, and even in my own businesses that I've owned over the years, that, you start on one thing, and then you just either start adding services because people are saying, well, could you do this? Can you do that? I originally started my business as my very first business when I was 28 was a telephone answering service that I had in downtown Louisville here in Colorado. And what started to happen is that clients said, well, we love what you're doing here. Can you do this or can you do that? And some things we tried and then decided we didn't like doing them and said, no, can't. And other things we really did. I mean, my husband and I actually ended up buying an office building and housing a lot of our clients in that. It just grew. So it's really keeping your eyes open, especially if you're in the business to business, also known as B2B sector, and knowing what services that you want to add. And the last point on this, and this is something that we tend to forget to ask our customers why they're doing business with us, right? So asking them the question, why did they do business with you? How did they find you to begin with? Sitting down and having conversations, taking them to coffee, lunch, whatever that looks like for you, but understanding why they do business with you so that you can, sometimes it's surprising. And even more than just doing a survey, you can definitely survey your customers, and that can work. I find surveys work best if you offer some kind of incentive, like a free Starbucks card or something like that. But if you can actually sit down one-on-one, eyeball to eyeball, and ask them why they're doing business with you, it's starting to hail outside, by the way. I'm hoping it's not going to get too loud because yesterday it was just deafening. So we're having a little storm here in Colorado. All right. So there's the business to business. And for those of you who are in the B2C, the business to consumer, really looking at, is there more online for you than offline? Do you need to have a retail store? What's the initial point of contact need to be? The top items that they buy from you, right? So this is where, and going for both B2C, and we're going to talk about this more next week also, is having some kind of database of your customers. And knowing, it's also called a CRM or customer relationship management tool, and understanding, okay, why are they buying? What items are they buying? Is it cyclical? Are they buying certain times of the year? Why did they choose us? Did they come in online? Did they walk into the front door if you're a retail store? Really looking at all those demographics in that light. Oh my gosh, it is going down. Sorry. So really understanding that. Okay, so that's really sitting down. And again, like I said last week, it's always interesting if you have a team that you work with, is to ask your team to fill out some of this information as well, to see and then bring it together and see if you're thinking the same, thinking differently. It can be very insightful, to be sure. So of all of this, one of the best thing to do is to take your top 20 customers and ask, what do they have in common? right? So let's go through, and maybe you decide it by dollars. Maybe you decide it by how often they engage with your organization. Whatever that is, that really that gives you that the old ABC of deciding where does this customer fit in our organization. But take those top 20, and then again, what do they have in common? All these questions that we're asking. All right, the lightning's starting now too. Okay, luckily we won't have a power outage, but we'll see. But I'm on my laptop, so I should be fine. All right, so so looking at what do your top 20 customers have in common. The next piece of this is, all right, so you're gathering this data, and it's really looking at this whole idea of being in your marketing laboratory. That's how I look at it. And then looking at, okay, let's do a competitive analysis. And if you haven't done it in a while, you need to do it as soon as possible, because I think we all know how quickly business can change. And, competition goes away, new competition comes in. People that you might not have even considered as competition in the past, all of a sudden are coming up as competition because people are utilizing their services. So the questions, what I would recommend, and it's on your homework, is to look at the top 10. I think we did 10, yeah, the top 10, and really list 10 companies that could be taking business away from you in your particular area. It's great. Distractions when you've got things going on. All right, so I'm going to talk a little louder because it's getting a little louder around here. What are the unique qualities that competitive company possesses, right? So what is it? It might be 1, 2, or 3 things even, but they're unique qualities that may be taking business away from you. Now the lightning is coming pretty strong. Never a dull day around here. And then what is your differential? So how are you different? And maybe within those qualities or with what that company does. All right, so looking at your differential. So that's your competitive analysis. And that's something I would spend a considerable amount of time on over the course of this week coming up. Because again, what we want to do with our homework is that we want to be able to get it done by next week. So if you have questions that come up, please feel free to you can ask me next week at next week's webinar, or you can email me and I'll give you that at the end of the webinar here. All right. So the next part is pain points. And again, I want to ask if anybody wants to volunteer to talk about some of their customer pain points, I would love to do that. So if you could just down in the questions, just say I'd like to volunteer. Again, a reminder, you need to be on Chrome in order to do that, because I do want to have a two-way dialogue with you. We're going to go through the pain points here in just a minute, but this is the juice. I just want to say, I don't know why I'm in an ice cream cone on this, but I don't know. I guess I don't know why I'm in an ice cream cone. But what's working in their life that your business can come in and create the solution? What's the pain points that you solve in your business? Because every business solves pain. When sales happen rapidly, it's because usually there's some kind of pain point that's going on. Even if someone wants to just look better, they're not feeling confident. There's so many different businesses. That's why I want to pull in a live example, and then you could take their pain points and you can create content out of it, and you can really start digging in, and you may even find some niches through that process. All right, so pain points. All right, so a reminder before we get into that next week, or in case I lose power here, because it's really crazy outside right now, that next week we're going to talk about the where and the power of social media and email marketing. And I just want to say one more time that your homework is really, to get the most out of these webinars, you've got to do this homework in between of really sitting down and figuring out what this is going on in your business in these areas. To create the good marketing vibes, to not make marketing that thing that sits in the back of the bus, as I like to refer to it, but that it's right there working hand in hand with everything that you're doing in your business, because you're clear about where your customers have come from, what customers you should be serving, etc. All right. So I think that is it on this slide deck. I'm going to jump out of this if I can. And let me stop sharing my screen. And I'm back. Carrie wants to know, I'm going to answer some questions that are coming up here. I don't know if I can even show you guys. I'm not even going to show you what's going on outside. But there will be a replay. The replay will be ready pretty much within the hour. So again, this button down here that says click here for your homework, you can watch the replay there. And I would say within the hour, it'll be there. You're welcome for the info. Hey, Lori, no worries. Glad you are here. And you found it. Okay. There's no link to the page. There should be a link. There's a little green button down at the very bottom that says click here for your homework. And that's where you want to go to get your homework. All right. So let's see if I've got, I don't know if you guys can see the lightning flashing in my face, but okay, Travis asked, how do I get interested fans of my art to start buying? I get, wow, that's amazing all the time, but it's hard to convert interested fans into patrons. Any tips? Yes, I would say that it's the we talked about it last week and we're going to talk about it again next week. It's the consistency. So once you figure out all of this, it's the consistency. And I do a daily word on Instagram. Today's word is patience, and sometimes it really requires that patience for us to. Oh, you guys, it's crazy outside right now. You wouldn't even believe it. So, focus. I'm going to focus and not look out the window, or listen to all the lightning and hail coming down. So know that it does take patience and really getting to know, again, it's getting to know the people who are buying. So those that have bought your artwork before, what is their demographic and how can you touch them more and reach out to them more? So that's what I would recommend. All right. So I don't see any other questions. I don't see anybody volunteering. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to pull up on my screen here. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. I'm going to share this worksheet that is called Finding Your Sweet Spot. All right, so hopefully you guys can all see that. And I'm going to put the chat over here to the side so that if anybody has anything, I can't really see to ask a question. So you can put your questions in the chat. Show must go on. I keep saying that to myself. Can you guys hear that? I don't even know if we can hear it through the computer screen, all the hail that's hitting my window. Pain point. So let's talk about the pain point evaluation. Look at what's not working in their life or their businesses if you're a B2B. And really start to break that down, right? So again, in your worksheet, you're going to have 10 different 10 different pain points or aspirations. Maybe it's the pain is something that they dream of, that they want to get to, and it's causing pain in their life because they're not getting it. Let's say that's, I know with my clients, it's, they can't get their marketing to work or they can't get something in their business. A lot of times, my clients will think that it's the marketing that's the issue when the issue is something totally, in their mindset or something else within the business that's not working. So it's really looking at, the problems that you solve for your customers, and so looking at that, and then looking at the solutions that are provided. So what solutions for that particular problem do you provide? So in my case, I'll use myself as an example. If the pain point is I don't have enough sales, right? So the solution I can provide is, I can give them information either on marketing to get that going, or maybe it's the whole marketing into sales, right? That they're doing great with the marketing, but it's really the sales piece they're not handing off marketing to sales in a really good way. And then what are your promised results? So what is it that you can give them? That, again, we go back to the benefits. What are the benefits that you give them in order to make that happen? Okay, let me just see what's going on over in the chat over here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. That window is so weird. Okay, let me cross this out. Hold on. Let's see. It says in the chat, pain of starting over, rethinking how to build the new website. All right, so you're giving a pain point from my perspective, right? So you have this pain of starting over. And so my job would be to really break that down. So why are you starting over? What didn't work the last time? I'm a huge believer in, if it's a perceived failure that you had, and that's why you've got to start over, Carrie, then what caused that? Oh, your website got hacked. Okay. So, again, so then looking if your website got hacked, which I have it happen all the time. That's one of the reasons that I suggest, oh my gosh, I have to show you guys this only because, let me stop sharing my screen and I'll show you what's going on. This is my pain point right now. I'm going to see if I can show you guys. This is outside put this light down. This is live webinar land, but that's outside my window right now. It's hail coming down. Looks like snow on the ground. Yeah, that's what's going on outside my window as we speak. Just thought I'd share that with you. So if your website got hacked, how would I help you? What would be the pain point that I would look at is, I'm going to share this again. All right, so go back to my document. So your pain point, website got hacked. My solution to provide is to find out what's happening, how the website got hacked. Maybe even write a blog post about that, right? About one of the things I find a lot in my business is that WordPress websites get hacked all the time, and so I might write an article around WordPress versus Squarespace, because we have not found that problem with Squarespace. We've been using with Squarespace with our clients. So it's looking at that, and the promised results are you're not going to get hacked, because there is yet to see that happen. So it's really walking through each one and working with those. Does anybody else want to share in the chat something that, a pain point that you find for your customers? This is my pain point, right? That's what I'm doing. Anybody else have anything? Well, here's what I'm going to say, because I'm probably going to cut this short today because it's so crazy and the lightning is so bad right now that I probably will cut this short. But that's really the essence of it all, is to fill out these worksheets and really think these through. If you have any questions, stop sharing my screen so you can see me. Here I am again. Again, you could click down below, but not on the website to find it. Again, so I'm going to just put in the URL. If for some reason you're not able to, it's www.victorycircles.com/, what did we call that? We called it Big Vision. VISION. All right, so victorycircles.com/Big Vision. And I want to thank everybody for being here today. Again, we're going to cut this short. Let me put that up there. Let me also put my email if I can help you in any way, Sherry@businessvictories.com. That is there for you as well. Remember, go over that page. If there's anything I can do to assist, if you would like a coaching session to walk through that, there's a link for you to take a look at that as well. And I'll show you just one more time here how this has increased outside my window. My pain point has increased incredibly. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I have a beautiful garden out there that I'm kind of freaking out about. That's my pain point. Right? So if anybody knows how to help me with that, please let me know. I could be a great customer of yours. Maybe you could have a niche in Colorado hailstorms. Yeah. So that is it for today. Next week, the where. I look forward to seeing you guys then. And again, there's the information. And if I can help you, please reach out and let me know. And make it a great week ahead. Thank you. Pray for me here in the store.